Oh, we've done it before.
We've got rigs, character adversary, attribution mode.
With our private keys combined.
Building some kind of blockchain super weapon.
There's just a number of vulnerabilities that are in the smart contracts.
Math. It's probably secure.
They all secretly mine cryptocurrency.
What coin can I trust? Which one is cryptographically secure?
Don't roll your own crypto.
CoinSec Podcast.
Wow,
Video
I
still
feel like
works.
that. I feel
What's
like
up,
the
everyone?
listeners, their ears are probably hurting right now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It was very loud. And you know what? I told Ryan that and he turned it back some, but just not quite enough.
Yeah.
It's
We gotta
down to
bring the
80%.
noise.
I thought your job is to make us sound good, not make our listeners have ear damage.
Bleeding eardrums.
So they must have ear damage if they're listening to us.
Yeah. Oh. Steve hitting them with the real truth.
Why are you listening to us? No, we're glad you're here.
Yes.
Well, welcome everyone to the CoinSec Podcast. First one of the new year. And in fact, it is Friday the 13th of January.
Friday. Spooky. I brought out all
Hold
my
on, let me
houses.
double check that on isitfridaythe13th.com.
There's our
Is there
website
a
just for
real
this?
website? There's a website
It's
for
right
everything.
next.
Friday.
It's right next to "Is the Earth Flat?"
I didn't know it existed prior to saying that, but I just went to istodayfridaythe13th.com and it says yes it is, so I think it is.
Oh my God. This is beautiful.
Wow.
I'm going to make a website that
So it
says,
makes you
"Is-
wonder, though. It makes you wonder, is it like hard coded or does it actually have some sort of algorithm that tries to figure out if it is or not? Is it AI?
yeah.
Stop
Really-
bothering the bear, Ryan. Yeah,
Really difficult
I
program.
would guess it's. I mean, I don't know if I'd call it an algorithm. It'd be like 2 lines of code. Time equals date dot
Machine
now.
learning. It's machine learning here.
Yeah, like someone else wrote the time code. They just check 2 strings and then they're good to go.
Yeah.
Or sorry, a string and an integer. My bad.
I'm going to come up with a site called iscryptoup.com.
It just says no.
If you're, I mean, there's so many of these. We could do one that's like, is Sam Bankman-Fried in
It's
jail
just
or not?
hard-coded.
Yeah.
There's no algorithm. It's literally just hard coded to say no every single day.
No, just every time. Just every time. The only person who's really getting screwed is the person who keeps buying all these domains.
Really, that's actually true. There's one that's like, is it snowing in Portland? And if it is, then it says like, everyone panic or what,
Wow. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a thing. There's a lot of these like one and done joke websites. You gotta love them. So what are we talking
Well,
about
we're
today?
here.
Cryptocurrency or something?
Something like that. I don't even remember
I feel like
anymore.
we always talk about blockchain hacks, and then someone did the math and added it all up, and it's really depressing.
Yeah. So that's actually the first thing we're going to talk about is all the stuff that happened bad last year. So Immunefi put together a really awesome kind of document around all of the bad happenings around last year. And according to me, in total, they saw a loss of $4 billion across the entire Web3 ecosystem in 2022. And 3.7 of that was just to hacks in 2022 across 134 specific incidents. 174 million was lost to fraud in 2022 across 34 specific incidents.
If you're wondering
And
why,
so one of the things that I thought was kind of
I was
go
just
ahead.
going to say, this is why we're on episode 74 of the CoinSec podcast, because there's 160 hacks, or 134 hacks a year. Like, we can barely keep up with this.
Does FTX in here?
I was just gonna say, is there a Sam Bankman-Fried category?
A chapter.
Yes.
Yeah, so they did mention that
own
most of
category.
that sum was lost by 4 specific projects: the Ronin Network, BNB Chain, Wormhole, and FTX.
Wow.
All of which we covered extensively on the show. Hashtag I don't know the episode numbers, but scroll up.
Just scroll.
So key takeaways for 2022. They have 5 key takeaways here. So the 5 major exploits of the year totaled 2.3 billion alone. So 5 hacks, right? hacks, over $2 billion stolen.
Are we in the wrong business, or should we?
I wonder how much of that has actually been cashed out.
That I would guess it's a tiny fraction because it's all in
tiny.
FTX.
Somebody I don't actually know if we included it in here, but one of the Nomad exploits, which was one of the major hacks we saw last year, somebody just pointed out that they sent it's just $1 million to Tornado Cash,
Which is tiny.
Yeah, it's comparatively to 2.3 billion or whatever,
Oh yeah.
I think people are stealing stuff, but they're not having a great time getting rid of it or cashing it out.
We saw that with the Crocodile of Wall Street, right? They did a little
crocodile.
Yeah, that was another great story this year. But there was a couple they didn't really launder that much.
It was 6 years or 7 years.
Couple Walmart cards here and there and stuff like that. So
Walmart gift cards. We were just talking about how you can still buy gift cards with crypto.
Yeah. No, I think the other question I have, and I don't know if they say this, but when were these cash values calculated? At the time of hack or at the end of the year?
That's a good point.
The money would fluctuate wildly depending on the value. Like with Ronin, that coin went to zero after it was compromised, right? For a while.
I think these were. This looks like at the time. If you look at the top 10 losses right there that Ryan just pulled up, those numbers were at the time of the hacks.
Yeah, some of it is shock and awe, but it is.
So really, it's more like 50 million at this point across the entire ecosystem.
Probably, and like Steve said, even getting any of that out is significantly a challenge. We know that the Lazarus Group is sitting on billions of dollars in crypto that they can't do anything with. So I don't know, where does it all go? I guess that's.
I think it's.
What if you don't need to What if you don't need to cash out to fiat? Because what if some place who is taking these things is actually considering it fiat?
Exactly, and I think that's
the currency. So hey, we don't care.
But dude, what do you buy for $2 billion? Do you make an Amazon order for $2 billion?
Missiles, dude. You buy missiles.
Lots and lots of missiles.
Even if you are buying missiles, I guess in the U.S. we probably spend $2 billion on a single missile somehow. But
every day we spend $2 billion on it.
That's a lot of missiles. Yeah, I don't know. That's my question. It's how do you?
Well, they have been increasing. North Korea has increased the amount of missiles they're shooting this year.
What arms dealers are taking Ronin?
And the last one, the last one I saw had a Bitcoin logo on the side of it as it went up. And
it's actually an airdrop of nukes.
There was that Darknet Diaries episode where Jack went over. He was talking to somebody who investigated a bunch of
IRS or whatever.
And in that episode, it's exactly what he's talking about how the Lazarus Group has a ton of crypto they've stolen that's just sitting there. And I personally think it's a long game, right? It's all right, so they're gonna sit on it, and hopefully over time, right? Crypto becomes more mainstream, and then exactly like we were just saying, people accept crypto just the fact that it's crypto, and then it'll be easier for them to leverage and use.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. North Korea has really put all their points into hacking. That's literally the only research and development they do is just into hacking. So it's pretty interesting. I guess kind of shocking on numbers, but overall, truthfully, drives home why we do this podcast, which is there's so many hacks, they're so big, and where it all goes, nobody knows really. But the good thing is that no matter how long it is, it'll still be on the chain. So this is the crazy thing about cryptocurrency is as long as this money's out there, we can monitor it. So that is
it's not like some drug dealer was having a party and decided to burn the pile of cash sitting in the middle of the floor, right? And then it's just gone.
Well, that can happen.
Get rid of it. It's still on the chain, but you could send it to a burn address, right? But technically it's still there.
There's probably many percent of crypto that's just sitting in completely unusable spots. That's
lost wallets and just dusted stuff. Yeah,
or in a North Korean wallet that they took when they defected or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, we forgot the seed to the $6 billion wallet.
Yeah, the worst.
So there's some fun graphs here about where the money goes or how it flows.
one of the other takeaways was that 95.6 of the losses were to hacks, where the only so like frauds, scams, and rug pulls, which we again like things that we talk about all the time, that only comprise like 4.4% of total losses.
Right. Most of it is flash loan attacks, depegging, all that. The more complex smart contract stuff that we talk about.
DeFi continued to be the main target of successful exploits at 80.5% as compared to central, right? So centralized finance at 19.5.
That checks out. DeFi is so much more complexity. Like the bridges especially got hit hard because you have all these like side chains and crazy complexity. It's just, I mean, we know this from the world of traditional security too. Like as you add complexity, like you get to the point where you're like, I don't even know what protocol this is using at this point. Like it just gets hard to track and secure. So I guess that isn't super surprising from
and well, the other thing,
you think like central exchanges, they need to be hacked in the traditional sense of, hey, we got to phish them, we got to get in, or we got to VPN into them, or
it's a lot of work.
Running. It's a lot of work. Yeah. Oh, there's some smart contract code sitting out here. I can see the flaw. All I got to do is hit this button, and then I get a bunch of money, right? It's so easy in some cases.
Yep. And the two most targeted chains in 2022 were BNB chain and Ethereum, which, so this surprised me. So there's a statement in here that says BNB chain surpassed Ethereum and became the most targeted chain in 2022 with 65 incidents, while Ethereum witnessed 49 incidents.
Gas.
Is that what it is?
I feel like it's gas. I mean, 2022 was when we saw ETH 2.0 roll out. So maybe this will change in 2023, but
yeah, but gas is like minimal compared to like how much they're making, you know?
True, but I think it's more just there's more targets on BNB because there's so many other like side coins and things that people spun up when gas was super high. There's a lot of Binance Smart Chain stuff that just is quick and dirty.
It seems more of like a playground than like people are playing more on BNB than, or they were anyways. A lot of startup, projects that would come up and then get exploited or rug pulled and then go away. More than Ethereum, because it seemed like it was like all these little DeFi degens were going into this new BNB, but nobody knows about it over here. But so they're starting their own projects, but they're flawed, they're insecure, and they're not doing the proper audits on them and stuff. So,
yeah, I mean, keep in mind this is by number of incidents, right? So like it isn't by magnitude of funds, it's by number of incidents. So it could be like Frog Coin got popped like 18 times or whatever, right? Like I mean,
old
it's
Frog Coin.
Yeah, I might have just
fraud coin. The worst.
I said Frog Coin, but Fraud Coin is even better.
Yeah, how many rivets do you guys have?
Oh, the rivet.
Hold on. Isn't there a website where you can go and make a Binance Smart Chain token in like 4 minutes? Like I'll just go make it. Like I think that's why there's so many incidents on BSC. That's just my guess, but I mean, it's statistics. You always got to take it with a grain of salt. Like I can say like 36% of our clients are insecure or what, percentage. What is it? 80% of statistics are made up or whatever.
So, all right. So here's another stat for you. So in total, $204 million was actually recovered.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. But that's only 5.2%. That's only 5.2% of the total losses in 2022.
So recovered. I bet some of those were frozen wallets or
returned by the attacker.
No, Mev bots.
Mango recovered a lot. I remember we talked about that.
Or it's the hackers giving it back. Does that count?
I don't think Mev bots would count as recovered. I think that would
thieves from thieves, thieving from thieves.
Yeah, that's stealing from thieves. That doesn't count as recovered. But yeah, that's interesting. Wow, Axie Infinity got almost. Yeah. It looks like they just gave a. Did they just give a bug bounty back? I don't know. Oh no, that's the other way around. They got nothing back. Yeah. You get nothing.
You got nothing.
That's rough. I mean, I guess like the 5.2%, that's pretty low. But I guess that goes to show like the money's hard to use, let alone recover. Like this is the nature of cryptocurrencies. It's a one-way trip. You make the transaction and it's done. It's final. It's validated on the chain and it's gonna be there forever. So I guess if you get your money back, you're extremely lucky.
Pretty much.
So did the people did the the Slizzard of Wall Street or whatever? Did she? Those funds are what is happening to those funds? Like, are they being returned to the original owners?
I think the government has them in the same wallet, or I know they have them.
Like, will that get?
I thought they were in the same. Like, they're starting to put.
If they eventually return it.
Or something.
I don't think they've actually done like trials and stuff yet, have they?
No, they haven't. So like they're holding on to it while the case completes, but like at some point will all that money be returned? I feel like it will. I don't know.
Yeah, but in what form though, right? Because did they get the original Bitcoin balance back that was taken,
right? Or is it the US dollar?
USD,
I feel like it'd be
like USD value.
I feel like it'd have to be the Bitcoin balance. That'd be the only sane way to do it. But they also sometimes auction that stuff off as stolen property, right?
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's an interesting. We'll follow along, of course. So stay tuned. But yeah, I wonder if like that will get added into the statistic because that's a big chunk of money. That's way more than 200 mil, isn't it? It's like over $1 billion.
Oh, it was.
I thought it was like $4 billion.
Yeah,
Bill, yeah.
It's orders of magnitude bigger than all the recovered funds in 2022. So,
alrighty. Well, anyway, yeah. So Immunefi did a great job, kind of wrapping up all the crypto losses in 2022. Definitely check that out. It's in the show notes if you want to read through that. Next story we got is so one of the main Bitcoin devs, Luke Dashjr, who he's one of the original core developers for Bitcoin Core. He claimed that hundreds of Bitcoin from his account were taken. So he didn't start off 2023 with a great Bitcoin account balance there.
My PGP key is compromised. Ooh.
Yeah, so when this first happened, Steve and Ralph and I were kind of looking at like what does that even mean? Like why does that matter? Like why is he talking about his PGP key? And if you kind of read through like his Twitter posts around it, it sounds like he had a server on like either infrastructure, something like that was compromised. And I think he kind of placed the blame on the cloud host. Yeah, so he says calling out Colo Crossing for dropping the ball on abuse investigation last time. So he calls them out, basically saying like, "Hey, my server was compromised, and so his PGP key was on the server." You know, we're kind of assuming here. I don't think it's actually been like, stated publicly or anything that he maybe he encrypted his wallet with his PGP key. Oh, but and then the other thing too was that he was saying that potentially instances of like Bitcoin Core and one of the other wallets that he's done dev on, because he signs off with his public key or with his PGP key, to be aware that the fact that his PGP key was stolen, right? So to be aware that like, if somebody signed a version of the software with his key, that it's not to be trusted.
I thought that was for a different wallet, not Core proper.
It's for both.
They named
I think
named as a different wallet. Okay.
They did. It was let's see if we can find it real quick.
He's basically
So
saying,
I know when it came out, a lot of the
Second one.
speculation was like Bitcoin's broken. Somebody can just snarf a key and it's all over. But it's not really that, right? It's more of
no, his server
security
got compromised.
as it usually
traditional
turns out to be.
security.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess we've talked about OPSEC a lot on the show. I wonder what OPSEC procedures were in place for this particular key or wallet. If it was a third-party compromise, like if someone compromised the actual hosting provider and then used it to access the server, this is like, it brings up the conversation of who is actually liable for that. I'm sure their agreement probably releases them of any liability, but I wonder if he could like sue and say like, hey, you owe me 216 Bitcoins because I was hosting on your platform and you got compromised, not me.
Well, that comes down to, did they compromise the hosting provider or just
the server,
VPS or server or whatever, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I guess TBD. I guess in the meantime, if you happen to have anything on, what was it called? It was like some Colo Caddy or something. Colo Castaway? Was that what it was? Wilson. I forget what it was, but
so
Colo Crossing.
So
if
in
you have
one of
anything
his
hosted
tweets,
there.
Yeah. So in one of his tweets, he said that so the fact that his PGP key was stolen, like, why does it matter? He said, so somebody asked, what does PGP have to do with anything? And he said, that's how you might verify that your Bitcoin knots or core download isn't infested with malware. So to be clear, do not download Bitcoin knots and trust it until this is resolved. If you already did in the last few months, consider shutting that system down for now. As for core, it's unlikely that website is compromised too, but at least verify a different signer on it.
Yeah, so it's the trust model, right, which is built around PGP. If the commit or the package is signed by his key, it's considered trusted, but now he's saying his key's compromised, so it's no longer trusted.
Shouldn't his key be password protected or something too?
Yeah, but if you're on the server, you just scrape it easy.
Sure.
Out of memory or just keylog or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I think it looks to me not cryptocurrency related, but traditional security related.
Is that something they can revoke the key, and then when somebody goes to sign a fake package in the future, it wouldn't sign?
Yes.
Because it was
Yes,
revoked?
I'm sure it's already revoked, but he's saying like he doesn't know the scope of the compromise.
If it had
going back.
already been.
Exactly. So like I'm sure if you go and look at that key on the MIT server or whatever, it's going to be revoked. But I mean, our people also need to check revocation. Like, how much is actually in place to check whether the key is valid? Most people are just going to see the signature and say it looks good to me.
Yeah.
So that's it sounds like a really tough scenario for them. I wonder is that a small chunk of his assets? I don't know.
I'm wondering why he had 216 BTC on a hot server in the first place. I mean, was this like his own little exchange?
So that's what we don't know, right? We don't know how
I
the
think
actual attack played out.
I think in one of the comments he had mentioned that he didn't want to have to like guard his home, right? And so he was hosting it on a cloud server.
So
Like he didn't want to like
hosting
keep
what?
a hardware wallet, like his wallet.
Yeah, so this is a decision, right? It's a decision, and there's basically three ways you can go. You can do hardware wallet in your physical custody. You can do some server in your digital custody, or you can do centralized exchange, like having it on Coinbase or wherever. So it obviously sparked a debate about what's the safest way to do it. I think this is a great example of how not to do it. But I will say, like, if you are compromised at this level, it is going to get very difficult to build a threat model around that. Like, his password. I mean, the hardware token, the hardware wallet is really the way to go, because even if someone has all your information, getting into that hardware wallet and signing a transaction is still incredibly difficult. And I think that I think it's just a mistake when it comes to defining your threat model. The chances that someone's going to break into your house, and although I guess he's a high profile developer, so maybe it's a little bit different, but a safe deposit box, I don't know.
Well, how
And people
does
think he's
any,
Satoshi,
celebrity,
right? Like, so
yeah.
he's definitely a big target, right?
But we tell our clients this all the time. It comes down to your attack profile on a physical level is always, just because of the cost of entry, so to speak, of getting to your house, is going to be way lower than it is on the internet. On the internet, that's where everyone has access, and there's nothing you can do about it. So,
well, including the actual colo
hosting
facility
provider
themselves, right?
Yeah.
The hosting provider.
yeah, exactly.
Also,
So-
the physical side leaves a huge footprint, right? Of like
Oh,
who
yeah.
you are,
Security
right? You don't have to
cameras,
dox them, right?
license plates, right?
Okay, yeah, but who would know? Like, hey, I'm core developer. I'm going to put a sign outside my house that says "No private keys here."
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Really? Are you advertising that you don't have Bitcoin at your house? I don't think he is.
I mean,
think this is just
Somebody could have done the same thing. They broke into the house, right? Like, I mean, this isn't more secure.
Well, that's basically what he's saying is, I chose to self-host my server with my stuff instead of bringing my house into my physical security.
Yes.
My threat.
What
model, so
threat actor would know that? Right?
That's a good point. So he's risking a break-in in the first place, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true. And I think I think all of us, at least in this room, and pretty much everyone else that I know, has gone the route of hardware tokens, hardware wallets, because it just makes the most sense. Like, yes, someone can break into my house and steal my hardware wallet, but even if they do that, the number of steps they're going to have to take to get actually to the funds are going to be significant. Like, way more than just popping a colo box and having access to your private key and your passphrase and your wallet. Like, so I don't know. I think it brings up an OPSEC discussion. I think our official advice, and this has been pretty much everyone's advice, is to use a hardware wallet for any funds that are long-term funds. If it's short-term funds, probably an exchange is okay, but definitely don't. We learned from FTX, don't count on it. If it's not something you can lose, don't put it in an exchange. So be careful.
All right, so moving on. So I know that a lot of you guys have lots of interesting opinions about the LastPass breach. So to add more to the massive issue that happened, there's now a lawsuit against LastPass, class action lawsuit that alleges that a data breach in August resulted in the theft of $53,000 in Bitcoin. So somebody likely had their either their passphrase or a mnemonic key stored in their LastPass vault. It was hacked and stolen. So, guys, what do you think about this? A multi-step thing, right? Like, so first off, should you be storing keys in a password vault? What opinions do you have about the LastPass breach in general?
I think I'm along the lines of Corey, and that it's your threat model, right? It depends on the person and what level of threat they're willing to take. So, putting your passwords and keys in a password manager, was it multi-factored? Now, they stole the blob, so if they can decrypt that, was your password any good in the first place? Where's the blame go? I don't know. Now I think I see what he's saying is you knew about this on this date, didn't tell us until this date. This is when I lost my keys or my crypto. If you had told me when it happened, I wouldn't have lost it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. My initial reactions are, first of all, it's a class action lawsuit, which I think how this works is like you come up with enough of a lawsuit to go with, and then you just hope everyone piles on. So right now it's only 53K. I would guess people are going to pile on, and it's going to be in the range of millions, if not more. But it will be hard to prove that this theft resulted in your wallet being stolen. In court, it's going to be hard for them to argue like how are you going to prove attribution? Like, it's basically going to be like, yeah, LastPass said they were compromised, then my money disappeared. Like that, where's the evidence? Like,
what if they had sent it to like Tornado themselves? What if they had mixed up their own stuff?
What if someone just stole your private key and it was completely unrelated to LastPass? So for anyone that doesn't know about the technical details of the LastPass breach, basically encrypted wallets were stolen. We know this for a fact. Those wallets are encrypted with your master password. So like Ralph said, if you didn't choose a strong master password, that's kind of on you, possibly. Like that is, if you chose an 8-character master password, that is sort of your fault, so to speak.
Is that it was 8 the minimum you could choose with LastPass?
I don't know, but I assume someone out there had an 8-character password. But so the other thing to note is that because of the ciphers they used, because of the encryption that LastPass used, the big difficulty is that it is possible to see if passwords are reused between. So if I'm looking at the encrypted wallet stolen from LastPass, the password is not salted, so I can see if Bo used the same password on Coinbase and on Gemini. I can't see what the password is because it's encrypted, but I can see it's the same encrypted value, which means it's the same password, which opens up a lot of other potential attacks, like using data breaches. Using other, like, I can see, Bo used the same password on Coinbase. There was a Coinbase breach, which there wasn't a Coinbase breach, but if there was, and I have his password that he used on Coinbase, now I can go and use it on any other sites that reuse the same password. So it basically kind of is a little bit ironic because to really be affected by this breach, you have to have a bad master password, and also you have to be reusing credentials in your password manager, which just seems like, isn't that the whole point of a password manager is you don't reuse credentials? So like your OPSEC has to be a little bit iffy to really be affected in a major way by this breach. That being said, I do think that the botched incident response, not discovering the fact how much was compromised, not disclosing it properly, and also having that compromised information get reused against LastPass again. That's not great.
You could read metadata inside of it too. Not everything was encrypted, so some values weren't encrypted and some were. I think some of the
URLs, right?
I think the site is readable, I believe.
Yeah, the site is readable, so like that's enough to like draw some correlation there. Like there's a lot of like why isn't everything encrypted? Every single bit of it should be encrypted, and because
plus bad encryption. Bad encryption. It's not all encrypted, and it's all encrypted with mediocre encryption. Yes. So it's definitely, I think, truthfully, but on Bo's original point, what do you think about putting your wallet passphrase in a password manager? I think that's fine. Or even your secret, like even your recovery key. I guess it depends on how much you have and whether you're willing to lose it. Honestly, I think for most people, the threat profile of losing their passphrase or their keys is higher than getting a breach on your password manager. I genuinely do think that.
Yeah,
most people
is way more possible.
Likely. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, if you're making this decision, it's just like, even though LastPass got breached, you're still better off using that than doing it manually. Like, so I still feel that way. Like, back up your passphrases, back up your keys. I think I'll be very interested. I would guess this lawsuit goes absolutely nowhere, but I guess if enough people pile on and it becomes like a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. I mean, my thought is $53K, dude. That's like your lawyer fees for like a week of work. like, dude, a class action lawsuit's got to cost more than $50K in legal fees. I know they're hoping that LastPass pays for those legal fees because they lose, but that's a big gamble. That is a big gamble to make. If you lose and you have to pay your lawyer fees, it's going to be more than $53K. I mean, it's just gonna for a class action lawsuit, but I'm glad someone's doing it just so we can see how it plays out.
Yep. So we'll keep an eye on that and hopefully keep you updated on it. All right. So moving on. GDS flash loan attack. Is this our first hack of this year?
First
January
flash
4th?
loan of 2023. Woo!
Wow. So on January 3rd. The GDS project on BSC. So also another Binance Smart Chain hack was the victim of a flash loan attack. The attack resulted in a total loss of $187,000. And it caused the price of GDS to plummet.
187K, aka 1,000 Bitcoin. Just kidding. Yeah, so flash loan attack. Never heard of Newman Labs. Shout out. You're new and you're discovering hacks. Good job. They lent a large amount of BSC USD through the flash loan platform. Why was it enabled? We don't talk about that. The attacker used Pancake to exchange BSC USD for GDS, added BSC liquidity pool, got a lot of whatever IP tokens are, deployed many contracts, each of which is the same, but they only called the transfer function, transferred the previously obtained IP token to the deployed contract. This is kind of getting in the weeds.
Yeah, with small fry attack, I guess, in the scheme of some of these bigger ones.
The to address is equal to the transfer address. It will enter the first branch. It's a code, so it's a bug.
Yeah. Key code logic there.
When calculating the reward, it is actually a constant multiplied by from's IP tokens holding. So the more IP tokens are there from, the more rewards you get. They called close LP mining, changed. Okay, so they closed off the smart contract after the hack. What percentage of the funds is this? 187K. This is like a bad calculation. Basically, the reason it was attacked is calculating the transfer reward. Only the weight of the IP token held by the trader is taken into account. Time was not considered, hence the flash loan attack. Yeah, so they actually have a remediation like on their site. So. I don't know do we know what the market cap of GDS was? Let's look it up.
Not a whole lot, I don't think.
187K. Gold Doge Sacks. That's not it. What is GDS? Is it Gold Doge Sacks? Is that actually it?
I don't know.
What GDS is this? Or is it
Good
Great Deal
question.
Coin? Or is it Goddess Coin? There's so many. I think it's Golden Doge.
Gold Doge Sacks.
Is it?
Yes. It is. Does the smart contract end in F8B?
Yeah, what smart contract address is it? That logo looks completely different.
So, all right, here's my question. Is it a rug masked as a flash loan?
No, it's not a rug.
How do you know?
Because we found out only 5% of attacks are rugs. So I'm just going to go with the 95% chance that it's a hack.
No. 5% are reported as rugs.
All right, where's your tinfoil cap?
I always think when like I see some of these like small cap attacks, I'm like, they just put that in there on purpose, right? Like,
But it's like the worst time to rug. Like,
dude, making 187K, it's always a good idea.
I guess. So yeah, this is definitely a smaller coin. We actually don't even know the smart contract address. We can't even find out what the market cap is. So
The contract for you. Just give me a sec.
Bo's doing some intense blockchain hacking.
You hear him typing? That's blockchain.
Live on the show. We're actually hacking the blockchain live on the show. That's how awesome we are.
Interacting. with
whatever.
the blockchain.
Bo's beard
Hilarious.
actually types and he just does hand exercises. He doesn't even type with his fingers. His beard actually does it. Wow,
It's all
this
over.
is
It's got-
really
it's got its
small
own little-
time. It's cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk.
So what is the market cap? Is there a way to see that in here?
Well, it's destroyed. That's what it is.
Balance 0 BNB.
I mean, this is classic shitcoin.
I don't see any values.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, so USDT GDF.
For audio listeners, imagine us doing really cool blockchain hack things.
We'll get to the next story momentarily.
Yeah, only to discover that this was just a rug pull. And I call
So
I don't
to-
think. Are you sure this is a smart contract address? Because this never had any BSC in it.
Total. All right. Yes. No. Total liquidity is 325,000.
Okay, so this is like more than half of their total
For-
liquidity.
Yeah. Oh, here, pull this chart
It's
up.
very
You can
weird.
see the crazy price drop on the 11th.
yeah, that's how you know.
Or
Oh,
actually,
it's
when was
USDT.
this? The third?
Dude, does this project even have a website? Like, I was just
I can't find it.
I can't even find a website for this.
Oh, they've only been around for a week or two. Wait, hold on. All right.
Rug pull. Dude, I'm
Okay.
telling
I
you,
don't know.
bro.
Hold on.
Come on, dude.
Is
All
this
right,
just a publicity stunt by Newman Labs? Like they made a smart contract, made it get hacked, and then posted about how it got hacked.
Oh, that's some real tinfoil stuff right there, dude.
Scan by Go Plus 2 attention items.
Oh
It
my
is
God.
on Pancake.
Gosh.
Or it was on Pancake. Either way.
It kind of just blows my mind that anyone right now is like, you know what we should do in this current climate? We should make another DeFi pancake swap token. Like that just blows my mind that like crossed someone's mind and they actually did it.
Well, I mean, they had a week's worth of work and they made $187,000. So there we go. On
This
to
is
the next.
this just looks like money laundering to me.
Yeah, dude.
27,000 holders is actually a lot. That's a lot of work for money laundering.
Next one's pretty small too.
Yeah.
The ROE Finance.
Another hack without a site.
80K USD out of that one.
All right, no, they do. ROE.finance. That's the way.
They didn't have enough liquidity in the pool to.
Oh yeah.
Price.
The victim pool was drained. Total loss is 80K. Price manipulation.
Yeah.
Limited liquidity of the pool, which resulted in the manipulation of historical.
Front run by the MEV bots. Hacker got hacked.
Hacker's gonna hack.
Yep. Here's the link to the MEV bot transaction.
That looks like breadcrumbs, maybe, for the trail there. So yeah,
Dude, all these projects
was this
are
one
like
about?
really small and just starting.
Yeah, this is just an 80K. So yeah, we're kind of tiptoeing into the hacks. This, to start out 2023. Nothing too crazy so far.
Yeah. What about this Mango Markets hacker charged with fraud?
I only use
That
Pineapple
was
Markets.
last year.
So
I only use Pineapple Markets. Yeah, I'm sticking with it. I'm strictly an orange man at this point.
So yeah, let's dig into this one. This is a Solana hack from last year. I think they did get the funds back, didn't they, or most of?
This was the guy. So I don't know if you guys remember. This was the guy who he was public about hacking Mango Markets, and he was like, "No, it was a highly profitable trading strategy."
it was that person. Yeah.
Looks like it wasn't as profitable as he planned.
Yeah. So the CFTC
There's 110 million
has charged him. Yeah,
I was
with
involved with
they're
the
accusing
team
him of
that operated a
manipulating. They're accusing him of manipulating the Mango Markets decentralized exchange and stealing over $110 million in digital assets.
This one will be very interesting because arguably this is where Code is Law gets into actual court.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
This is where
this is a highly profitable trading strategy.
This is Code is Law. This is the Code is Law defense. Like his lawyer's like, okay, say it again. Code is Law. I don't understand this. So
no,
yeah,
the smart contract said I could steal the money. It's fine.
It's fine. I choose the value of the US dollar, not you. Yeah. Like that's I mean, so yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but most of the funds got returned, didn't they? So as it says here, they use leverage to establish a $19 million long position or 400 million swaps, Mango/USDC swaps. Then they got a short position. They placed themselves on both sides of the same transaction, which effectively resulted in a wash transaction. Mango Markets did not require any identifying information to trade on the platform, so he was able to create accounts anonymously, concealing Mango Markets, and he was on both sides. This is like
so it was price manipulation.
This is like day one on the stock market.
Yeah.
So
Mango Market offered a $47 million bug bounty. In the
if
promise
they sent
not to
back
press charges.
67 mil.
Yeah, if they sent
they
back
agreed publicly, but it's unclear whether he actually got the money, the bug bounty money, or not.
It was a highly successful trading strategy.
This is similar to how auto deleveraging works, clawing some profits from profitable traders. I mean, I think this is like, so how does everyone feel about this? Because we talk about decentralized, we talk about this. We have U.S. agencies indicting people for crypto trading now, so it's not so decentralized anymore. Does this require it to be backed by Mango? Could the U.S. could they do this for any platform? I don't know. It's kind of an interesting. It's a new precedent.
A crime is a crime, whether the company agrees to it or not.
Yeah, I guess if you're like, oh, we don't. But isn't there pressing charges a thing? I don't know.
Yeah, but they're the crime that they're charging.
That's only for civil.
Yeah, the crime that they're charging them with is something that is just against the law, regardless of whether there's consent inside the organization or whatever, the victim.
It's very interesting that the trader thought, this is the hill I'm going to die on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so that is I mean, the big problem there, right? If it was anonymous, if the guy had never been public about it, probably would have never heard of this story or this company ever again.
No, but if you tweet and say I was on it's like if I tweeted and said I was on a bank heist last week. Here's why. Let me convince you, the reader, I'm not a bad criminal. The bank's at fault.
It's always offset,
First of all, the security guard was asleep. I walked into the bank, the security guard, he's asking for me to steal his gun.
Of course he is. Everyone knows that.
So I grabbed it, and apparently now I'm being charged with a crime. Like, I don't know. It's very, it'll be interesting to see how it goes, because basically if he harbors a large defense, it's going to be code is law, and I'm allowed to do this, and it's a decentralized, deregulated market. Yeah, so I guess I'm assuming the consumer trading futures
Commodity Futures Trading Commission.
Commodity Futures Trading Commission. I assume they govern. I don't know what like their charge directive is, but I'm assuming they govern like all transactions in the U.S. or something like that. So, kind of screwed on that one. You can't just be like, it's decentralized.
They'll never catch me.
So, very interesting. Yep. Don't tweet about your hack if you're going to try to, But hey, I guess it's fun to watch it play out in court. Maybe he'll get a Netflix special.
You never know. Yeah. You can always hope for Netflix.
Aim for the stars.
Get a Netflix special.
All right, next up,
that was the
crypto and banking apps targeted by the GodFather malware. So Germany's
Can we just
financial
enter
regulator
star right there?
BaFin.
And every
Star?
malware is targeting your crypto wallets.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so this specific one is being warned about. So Germany's financial regulator BaFin has warned that crypto and banking mobile apps are being targeted by cyber criminals using the GodFather Android malware. BaFin stated that the malware has so far attacked 400 crypto and banking apps, including platforms operating out of Germany and 15 other countries.
That's significant. 400? Like, I feel like in the U.S. we would do a press release at like 4. So the fact that they waited until 400 is pretty impressive.
I mean, like, what does that mean though? Like, I mean, what did they do?
Yeah,
like,
what do
just
they mean by banking app?
Did they copy the Coinbase app and just like create a fake version of it with malware and put it on the market?
It doesn't state that.
I think so. And I think that's basically what they're saying is like this. I think this is a press release that says, be very careful if you're using mobile wallets, which I would agree with. Like, it's a tough ecosystem to be in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this malware also works by stealing login data, including 2FA codes. And the way it does that is it can get text messages as well. So it probably asks for permission on your app, like, hey, this app wants to
read everything, to do everything, please.
Yep.
Didn't we have a guest that was like, I forget his name, but he was a developer for...
Tal.
Yeah.
Tal Berry.
So we should ask Tal about this because I'm sure it's on his radar. Like, I guarantee you he's responsible for writing a mobile app and making it secure. So how do they defend against these kinds of attacks? We should get him on the show again to ask him about this.
He's still developing that. I see that they've even been doing some like code academies and stuff. So
let's have him on again. We can ask him about this. GodFather. You're tearing me apart.
Making enough they can't refuse
the family.
Look how they massacred my app.
All right, so the next couple we have are basically like hacks against individuals, and this first one I thought was kind of interesting, so I made it its own section. So thieves force a victim to open their wallet with facial recognition and steal $4 million in crypto. So check this out. So an attacker figured out that this crypto investor was going to be at this gathering, right, for other crypto investors. Why not hang out with other rich people, right? And so after the event, the attacker followed this dude to his car, restrained him in the car, then forcibly used the investor's facial recognition to unlock his phone and then straight up sent out $4 million. So there's like a lot of questions here, right? Like, first off, why are you storing $4 million like readily available phone?
Yeah.
Well, this goes back to the story earlier, right? We were talking about the dude putting it in the cloud, his PGP keys up there.
How are you going to flex on your friends if you can't show them your wallet?
Right?
Yes.
Look at my balance.
Look at my balance. I could also just make like a Word document that has a bunch of numbers in it too. It's same.
Okay, that's exactly what I need. Can I pay you for that? No, I'm just kidding.
It's a screenshot.
Screenshot. Swipe. Don't swipe. Oh,
you ruined it, dude. It's in photos. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So this was in China?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So in that article, there's actually some interesting kind of follow-up conversation around that specific thing.
Isn't
Right, so-
cryptocurrency trading illegal
actions.
anyway?
Yes.
Like, is crypto?
It is.
Okay.
However, it is. However, so Chinese legal frameworks recognize Bitcoin as a specific virtual commodity, which implies that it has valuable properties and can be subject to theft. So it is something you can attempt to
So
like
it's
if it's stolen from you, you can like have a case like a law like
you can
should be
say
able to
like
do it.
this guy stole my drugs and go put him in jail, even though you're not supposed to have the drugs.
Right. Basically, yeah. I mean, still theft.
But it looks like 4 years in prison and a $1,400 fine would be worth 4.2 million.
Yeah,
to most people.
that's what I found hilarious, right? So, yeah, for either 4 years in prison and either a 4 years prison and a $1,400 fine, or 2 years in jail and an $877 fine.
Something.
So,
I feel like the
to
Chinese
steal $4 million,
authorities- Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
I feel like the Chinese authorities. There might be more to this story because the Chinese authorities specifically said, we warn crypto investors against flaunting their wealth, wearing coin logos to draw attention, and going to remote places to meet strangers. Like that basically
Gangster crypto logo.
reading between the lines there. Like I want to find this person's Instagram and just be like, yeah, I see how they got all their money stolen. Like that's a coin. Like if you're commissioning custom Bitcoin shirts or whatever, you probably don't want to be doing that.
And you're cool.
And you're super cool because you got that screenshot of 4.2 mil.
Yeah, the best.
But I just feel like the fact
holding my phone in front of me, give me the money. I'm like, it's just a screenshot. I swear.
it's just a screenshot. So, yeah.
Or you create like 20 token called Bitcoin
Yeah.
and just send them that.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, really. You just have like a fake wallet with like Donkey Coin in it. It's like
Yeah,
5
it's
bajillion.
so many,
Yeah,
so
fake
many
coins.
coins.
I mean, honestly,
I'm a millionaire.
On what chain? Well, it depends on who you ask.
well,
On the
Donkey.
Binance, on the
On the
Binance Smart
testnet.
chain, on the testnet.
Testnet.
Yeah.
I am a millionaire.
I mean, who's going to validate the contract address? It's on the testnet.
That's true.
So,
All right, so that was one thing. All right, so and then the next section, I've got other multiple major hacks against individuals. So the other one, another one from this week, NFT influencer falls victim to cyber attack, loses 300K plus in lost, mainly NFTs, and it was a bunch of CryptoPunk things like that.
who would target an NFT
NFT
influencer? I mean, that's just
Crypto Novo.
a pseudonymous
announced, like,
crypto
January
influencer. I mean,
4,
come
they-
on.
How do they find him if he's pseudo?
Fell victim to a cyber attack, lost 2 CryptoPunks, and a third stuff too. Let's see. They were immediately sold for 70 ETH, 70. And oh yeah, there we go. So he lost other NFTs, including Meebits, CloneX, Mutant Apes, and Bored Apes.
Wow, they tweeted on January 6th that their mental health has been crushed and they went to the hospital for professional help due to the theft. That's got to be rough.
That's a lot of money. I mean, that's
I feel like it probably wasn't so much the money as much as just the community response to this had to be a disaster. Like, it's going to be split in half between people saying, number one, I don't care, LOL, sucks to be you. And the other half of people are going to be like, oh, you screwed up your OPSEC, bro. And then the other, I guess the other group of people are just going to be like, hey, I bought your ape or whatever.
I'll sell
Like-
it back to you.
It's mine
Yeah.
now.
The fact that he had to tweet like 6
Well, no-
times about like
so
all the
actually
different
no. So it's
impersonators.
actually not lucky. No, he's not that lucky. So somebody bought one of his punks, and they were like, actually, you know what? I'm sorry, I'm confusing this to the next one. The next story we're about to talk about, somebody bought one of them and was like, I've been wanting to buy this for so long. I'm not sure if I'm going to sell it back yet. So, anyways, all right. So yeah. So how did this guy get hacked though? I don't think it's clear yet, but it's pushing, probably contract approvals, that kind of stuff, I would imagine. somebody tweeted back and they said, really sorry this happened, and I hope you're able to get the pieces back. If it's any help, it looks like you may have a transaction granting an allowance to another contract.
So the thing that's really brutal about this one, I think, and why it probably impacted their mental health is that like they had basically made this CryptoPunk 3706 like that NFT was kind of like their identity. Like if you look at their Twitter, Ryan, they had like, it's their profile picture, first of all. Second of all, if you scroll back, they have like images of like, you know, he had a custom art made. He had like a pixel art thing that he would wear in real life with like the face of his CryptoPunk. So like it kind of is, if you go to Crypto Novo 311, like this person had made their NFT sort of their identity, right? Like, look, he has shoes with his NFT on it. He has, you know, a custom mask that he wears that is like his NFT, right? So like, this is where like this asset that you own, this would be the equivalent of like me making my whole identity like Apple computers or something. Like, I don't know. It's very weird. Like, yeah. So like there's all the, if you keep scrolling, there's some of like, you know, their like custom mask that they got printed with their face and stuff like that. So like, I get why. Yeah, there you go. So like, yeah, this asset, this NFT that this person owned was like their entire life, basically. So I guess it's kind of crazy when you imagine like, it's like me stealing the name Bo Bullock. I'm like, this is my name now. I own that. I am Bo. I inherit all his Twitter followers. I inherit his albums and his royalty. Like it's like almost identity theft. It's kind of interesting. So.
Yeah, so there's that one, and then the next one. So Nike's Artifact COO. So Artifact is an NFT project that Nike has jumped on board with last year, and the COO himself lost a number of their own NFTs and a hack. So let's see.
Well, as we know from traditional security,
same phone number as Apple ID. Sold all my CloneX.
Clever Fisher, same phone number as Apple.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what that meant. Maybe they
spoofed his own number, or possibly? No, spoofed a short code.
Yeah,
to him.
You can't. Can you spoof short codes?
I didn't think you could, and then on the news, everyone was like, "Duh, you can." So I don't know.
I don't know. So I know that they've cracked down a lot at number spoofing, especially. The FCC has recently, and a lot of the networks that were allowing you to spoof are getting actively attacked from the FCC, meaning like warned and told, if you do not, we're going to cut you off like your business entirely. Like you won't be able to do any legit.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess like clearly
spoofing is coming to an end. Let's just put it this way. So spoofing is definitely coming to an end. Also, short codes are very expensive. They're like $3,000 a month or something. So.
Now, Clone X NFTs were stolen. It's about 173K, which for an executive, you know, that's probably his golden parachute. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, as we know from traditional security, executives not always the best OPSEC. Sometimes can be very valuable phishing targets. So this is tough. I mean, sucks for this person, but yeah. I'm interested to see. I wish he would post like screenshots of the actual. I guess it's like there's dignity. He doesn't want to.
Dignity.
So I think there's a theme here, right? Like it's, you know, high profile individuals, people that are, you know, obviously out in public, you know, in any context, that are showing that they own valuable stuff. Like you're going to be a target, you know. I mean, even if you don't, like you're still a target, right? Like I mean, it's easy to see what wallets own things on the blockchain. And it's something that I think that, I mean, obviously people need to they need to be more careful, right? Like you need to be more aware that you're going to be a target. If you've got crypto, that's the thing that people are trying to steal these days. So be careful.
Yeah.
Be extremely, extremely careful. One more
this
though.
Is the one, I was going to say, this is the one where they wouldn't, the person who bought it was like, I'm so excited to have this or whatever. Like they wouldn't give it back.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it was at the end of that article. So, can't believe I'm now the owner of the Murakami Konami. This is how you come home to the robot fam. So this is somebody who bought his stolen NFT, right? So steals the NFTs from him, sells it immediately. This guy buys it, and he's like stoked because he's been waiting for this specific NFT for a long time.
Then he finds out
and
it
so
was stolen.
in a message, so Decrypt messaged him, right? And they're like, they found out, or I guess they were on it was stolen from the COO. And he's like, man, I've been wanting this exact same thing for over half a year. And he said, I've been talking with some people from Artifact, but I need to think about what to do. Def going to hold it for now. Like, so, you know.
Yeah, that's rough.
That brings up an interesting, like, ethical conundrum, right? Like, all right, so if you buy something that's stolen, like, I mean, especially if it's a unique item, like what, I mean, how do you deal with that? You know,
Well,
like,
if it's been
can he
used
be
in a
forced to give it
crime,
back?
if it's been used in a crime before, I believe so.
So I think he could be forced to give it back. I think probably how it would get handled is the person would be like, I'll buy it back for whatever you paid or something like that. I don't know.
I've seen that happen before. Yeah,
I keep thinking about like the pawn shop scenario, right? Like if somebody steals something and then sells it to a pawn shop, the pawn shop's liable for that. Not like they don't. The
So
pawn
you're
shop,
saying OpenSea, but like I don't know, OpenSea's not floating a mill to pay for this NFTs.
well, they shouldn't be dealing in stolen property. That's I think the thing.
That's true. I mean, you do have a point. And to use the traditional analogy, you know, if a bank takes in a bunch of stolen cash and it turns out it was stolen, that's on them. So.
Yeah.
All right, so the next one, hackers steal $3.5 million worth of digital assets from GMX Whale. So in this one, hackers, start out with another exploit with several million being taken from a whale holding large amounts of decentralized finance protocol GMX's native token. On January 3rd, various community members spotted suspicious movements of GMX tokens. Following this, security firms Certic and PeckShield flagged the transactions as an exploit that drained $3.4 million of GMX tokens from a GMX whale. So, did
the whale even know? Because I think this is interesting to me mostly because it was flagged and investigated before the person tweeted and said, "Guys, I got hacked." So like it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
The community.
Because they're PeckShield's looking for these active exploits. So where they flag it, I don't know where they flag it. Like it's not like they send an email.
I think
to
they
the
flag it
dude
on
and be
Etherscan.
Yeah, maybe.
I think they have custom tools that they use to flag like various high value transactions that happen.
Right, but they're flagged on like the front, like on Etherscan and other stuff.
Oh yeah.
There's no like on chain. There's no on chain function for flagging.
Right. Correct. Yeah. Yes. So they would go to like any of the centralized transaction tracking sites and try to correlate. And you can see it when you go to like this transaction. You'll see like hacker wallet address as the title associated with them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I guess like, does this article include any reaction from the person that these funds were stolen from, or is it just like no one knows who it was? It was just like some whale.
I don't think so.
Some whale.
Imagine having your money in so many different cryptocurrencies. You don't even know when it's one of your cryptocurrencies gets drained.
Yeah.
Tough business.
So I think
so
we've got
much money that you don't notice when it's 85. How much was it? 85,000 tokens less.
3.5 million.
You have so much money that you don't notice 3.5 million. You thought it was market fluctuation.
All right, so it looks like we have one more story before we wrap things up. Who threw LendHub in here? Exploited?
LendHub, yeah, that was me.
All right, so
it looks like
hacker stole 6 million.
Yeah, so that's our first $1 million hack, right? Of the year.
You're right. Hey, Ryan, where's the do?
Wait, it only says 100. Oh, that's the post assets.
$6 million from its
There it is.
There it is. we couldn't continue until that happened. So
this was the
No,
reason
that's
this
good.
one happened is they had two
All right.
tokens on the. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so there were two tokens on the platform, and they didn't
Yeah.
delist one of them. So the price was off basically because there were two of the same token on there for some reason.
Interesting. So this was
This
a
one, yep. So
like a
first
DeFi
one of the
site.
year, multi-million. Yeah, it's just another DeFi lender.
Wow.
One of the
And then-
safest on the planet.
And the
apparently.
attackers soon the stolen funds from the Hiko network. Which that's the first I've heard of that one. Have you guys heard of the Hiko network before?
No, but it sounds like it's the new Tornado Cash.
Anyone No, so it's its own chain. It's like its own
It's its own chain, yeah. And then they have to use like
So
multi-chain
they
to swap
like
it.
yeah, like Ethereum or Optimism, right? Hiko. So these transfers were done using several means, including transit swap and multi-chain. And the hacker's wallet still holds about $2.6 million worth of Tether and DAI. And I saw that they had sent it as well, but maybe no, above top. On-chain data shows the hacker's wallet address withdrew ETH from sanctioned crypto mixer Tornado Cash. So I am guessing they funded their initial attacker wallet
Through
from
Tornado
sounds
Cash,
like to me anyway.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, guess that's it, guys.
Yeah.
Any more comments on
Starts
that
off
one?
the year. No more.
2023 is a wrap. Put it in the books. We're done.
It's been 13.
Yep,
The first Friday the
2024.
13th.
Yes. And presumably the last. Just kidding. We'll be back for more.
We'll be back. We're always back.
Well, thanks everyone for listening. It's been fun. We will hopefully catch you guys, soon. So thanks for watching. Subscribe, smash the likes, all the things. Join us in Discord. Throw, recommendations for articles, that kind of stuff out there. And we'll see you soon. All right, guys.
Thanks all.
Bye.
Bye
Later.
all.